We're asked which of the following vectors have the same x component as vector A, and they tell us to select all that apply. So this is vector A right over here, and we only have to concern ourselves with the x component. That's what they're asking us about. So let's think about what its x component is. We're starting at this point right over here, which has an x value of -2, and we're going from -2 to, or we're going from x equals -2 to x is equal to -5. So our change in x, or another way to think about it, our x component, we're going from -2 to -5. Our x value goes down by 3. So we have -3. We could say our change in x is equal to -3, or that would also be the x component of vector A. We could say that vector A is equal to, its x component is -3. We're not concerning ourselves with our y component, but we see that our y goes up by 1. So it's -3, 1. But we just care about our x component. So let's think about what other vectors here have an x component of -3, that if we start at our initial point and go to the terminal point, our x value has gone down by 3. Well, we're going to start with vector B here. And let's see, if we start there, our x value is 3 at our initial point, our starting point for that vector. And then to go to the x value of the terminal point, we went down by 3. So this has the same x component. Vector B is going to be -3, something. So I will select that one. Now let's think about vector C. Vector C starts here at x equals -4, and then it ends at x equals -1. So its x component is going to look, one way to think about it, our change in x is going to look like this. And you might be tempted to say this is the same thing. It has a length of 3, but notice we're not going 3 to the left the way that we did in vector A or in vector B. We're going 3 to the right. So here our change in x is +3. And so vector C is going to be +3, something. So it's not going to be vector C. Now let's look at vector D. Vector D starts over here. Its x value is -6. And we're going from x equals -6 to x equals -9. So once again, we have gone down. Our change in x is -3. So that has the same x component. If I were to say vector D, I would say it's -3, something. I haven't figured out what these are, but I don't need to for this problem. So vector D also has the same x component, an x component of -3. And we're done.